spiritual community dedicated to teaching spiritual tools to transform personal lives and help make a world that works for everyone. With us today to do our invocation and reading is Reverend Dr. Linda Rapond. Welcome, Linda. And our musicians today are Alexa Ehrlich and Lauren James, who now have our opening song.
You are the light of love. I am the light of love. You are the light. I am the light. We are the light of love. You are the light of peace. I am the light of peace. You are the light, I am the light. We are the light of peace. You are the light of joy. I am the light of joy. You are the light, I am the light. We are the light of joy. You are the light of hope. I am the light of hope. You are the light, I am the light. We are the light of hope. You are the light of love. I am the light of love. You are the light, I am the light. We are the light of love. You are the light, I am the light. We are the light of love.
And let's just allow those words to become our prayer. You are the light. I am the light. We are the light of love. And so we open to that as our truth this day, allowing that truth to guide our actions, to guide our thoughts, to permeate our very being. Light. All that God is, I am. I am the light. And so I take this moment to bless this service, to give thanks for every person, live and virtually, who are joining us for this service, and know that we are all indeed blessed, and all that our soul is asking for is indeed met by this service, by the music, by the message, by all that occurs. I know that it is good and it is blessed, and that what unfolds from here is only more and more good. Thank you, God. And so it is. I want to read to you this morning a passage from Roger Thiel's book, This Life is Joy. If you don't know Dr. Roger Thiel, he is a major teacher in this movement of science of mind, and for many years was the minister at Mile High Church in Denver. And I love this book. I've read this book about 4 times, and so this just popped out at me as I started contemplating this service today. What we believe becomes an open invitation for manifestation. In the midst of a problem, believe in the possibilities inherent within the problem, even if you have no idea initially what they are. You are disengaging your vital energies from an attack on the problem and making yourself available to guidance, inspiration, innovation, and serendipity. You're moving from reactivity to higher order creativity. This doesn't mean that you do nothing or cease any and all action steps that are necessary or appropriate to the situation. You do what you have to do at the level of the immediate needs. but you don't get stuck at that level. More important, you take inner action to free your vast creative resources as a being of light, to become a conduit for miracles of greater good. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Linda, for that beautiful prayer. Perfect reading. We go now once again to Alexa and Lauren.
Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before, broken hearts and slamming doors. I'll be alright, yes I will, once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. So bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I know it's gonna be everything new.
Are you ready for Bring It On? Everything new, everything different, everything true. Perfect song, ladies. Thank you so much. You'll see why I mean it's a perfect song. Our theme for March is Open to Possibilities. This was the theme suggested from our teams at CSL Home Office. And I don't always follow the theme. Sometimes I do my own thing, but I was really attracted to this idea, open to possibilities, because isn't that where we're at right now in so many ways? Spring is starting. I was away in Portland last week, and I even saw rhododendrons in bloom. Walking in Lithia Park here in Ashland this week, I saw wildflowers and beautiful buds just ready to open, knowing that nature is about to just show us all the radiant colors that we're so used to this time of year. Very exciting. And then there's the whole situation with COVID, that there seems to be light at the end of the tunnel, that maybe this incredible time of having to isolate is going to open up a bit, open to new possibilities. With the immunization program in full swing, I was fortunate enough to get my first vaccine this week, and I got to tell you, I was in line, socially distanced, waiting to go into the clinic, and the mood of the people in line was so joyful, so grateful. Everybody was commenting that, getting a vaccine isn't necessarily the most fun thing to do, but in this case, everybody was excited. New possibilities on the horizon. And I think that this phrase, open to possibility, it really summarizes what our teaching of the science of mind and spirit is. We teach that we create, that there's this power for good in the universe that wants nothing else but the highest and best for us. We teach tools. We always say each week we teach tools to transform personal lives and help make a world that works for everyone. And part of those tools is learning to release limited beliefs, limited ideas of what's possible, releasing lack mentality, and embracing the idea that we live in an infinitely abundant universe with infinite possibilities. So that is our theme for the month. My theme, or my message today, I entitled Outside the Box. And, after I thought of that title, I remembered that in our foundations class, where we teach our fundamental principles of science of mind, we often have shown a little video called Joshua in the Box. You can find it on YouTube if you're interested. It's about a 3 to 4 minute animated video. And it's a funny looking creature. He's sort of humanoid, but not really, blobby. And he's in a box. And the first minute or so, he's kind of testing, feeling, okay, there's a wall here, a ceiling. He pushes against the front of the wall, and he looks like an animal in an aquarium with his nose flat against the glass. And he realizes he can't escape. So then he gets upset, and he starts punching the wall and trying to stretch the sides and kicking the wall and running against it, and he just falls flat. He can't get out. And so he's pretty upset. At one point, he leans against the wall. He just relaxes. He's probably tired. And while he's relaxing, an arm somehow slips outside the boundaries of the box, which is interesting. When we talk about that, when we discuss it in class, people often say, isn't that interesting? When he relaxes, he gets outside of his prison. And we talk about in Science of Mind, what we resist persists. And when we trust and rest, sometimes good things happen. So he pulls his arm back in, and then he sees a little hole in the ceiling where his arm was punched through. And he manages consciously this time, intentionally, to twist himself outside the box. And for about a second, he's pretty cool with that. Like, wow, no boundaries, right? And then you see a little tear stream down his little blobby face. And he's scared, and it's unfamiliar, and he doesn't know what to do. So he struggles and gets himself back inside the box, and that's how the little video ends. There he is, back in his box. So I find this a great discussion starter in our classes, and it reminded me, too, of a quote from Eckhart Tolle, who said, when you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. Poor Joshua just couldn't quite get there. He couldn't quite get comfortable. And the fact is, yes, we have to get comfortable with uncertainty, but it's our human nature to expand. And when we accept limitation, when we don't venture outside the box, whatever the box is, a relationship that you know quite clearly is toxic or no longer good for both people, a job that is limiting and it's time to move on, a health condition that you've accepted that perhaps there's a way to have more mobility, or whatever it is, we're meant to expand. I found this quote this week from Dr. Jim Lockhart that I love that explains this. He said, "When we ignore or resist the inner urge to move forward in our development, our physical and emotional selves react. We may develop an illness or deep fatigue, or we may become depressed or distracted." So as much as it may be scary or overwhelming to think about possibilities outside the box, whatever the box is, it really is what we're built to do and meant to do. And we're supported by an infinite presence of love that will guide and support us along the way. You know, we're kind of a denomination that's outside the box, aren't we? The box of more traditional religious organizations. My good friend, Reverend Larry Marie Heil, who started a Center for Spiritual Living in Baton Rouge, Southeast Louisiana is the name of the center. That's in the middle of the Bible Belt, and she's really outside the box down in Louisiana in terms of what we teach. And I love what they say on her website. It says that we are spiritual, radically inclusive, spiritual renegades. And, we are radically inclusive. We believe each person is a divine creation, and so we don't exclude people based on anything. And in particular, many religious organizations have discriminated against GLBTQ people, which is really unfortunate. We are radically inclusive, spiritual renegades. Oh, I think we can all relate to that. We live here in the Rogue Valley. I kind of relate to that. I feel like I'm kind of a rogue. So at the same time that we're renegades in terms of what modern religions have often been teaching us and what a lot of us probably grew up being taught, we also talk about how we are teaching ancient wisdom, new thought. So what I want to remind me and everyone about this morning is that spiritual truth does not change. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, often said we remain and are open at the top. So our philosophy may evolve as, science learns more about the world and the way it works. But the basic spiritual truths really don't change. And so this week on Monday mornings, I've been doing on our community connection call on Zoom, I've been doing Poetry as Spiritual Practice. And this week we examined a poem by the 13th century Sufi mystic Rumi. Now you think about this. He lived in the 1200s, and yet he taught much what we believe about God, and that there isn't this punishing God that's going to send us to eternal damnation. So I'd like to read to you this delightful poem by Rumi. It's called A Coin Toss for Your Soul. I have seen it happen when a person dies. The soul will come to the gates of paradise, and there God will open a magnificent book and read a few notes his angels wrote beneath each name. God reads that to see if the soul is worthy of entering his mind and heart forever. And if God does not like what is written about one's life on earth, I have never seen him sway from then saying, I think those angels of mine sometimes think too much. They must have gotten you confused with someone else. Let's toss a coin to determine your eternity. Heads, you win. Tails, uh-oh. Once God asked me to polish that coin before he flipped it. I saw that both sides were heads. Yes, both sides were heads. Guess that puts uh-ohs in their place, and a lot of other things too. I just love that. And it really is outside the box of what so many of us learned. We are love. We are born of love. We're here to express love, and we are greeted with love and as love when we leave this earth school, this earth plane. That is really outside the box for much of what the modern world believes today. I was listening to the interview that Oprah did this past week with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And I don't know what the word is, kind of heartbroken to hear Meghan admit that she had been suicidal while she was living under the domain of the royal family. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that too, because feeling like we want to end our lives often comes from a place of feeling like we're in a box that we can't escape. For Megan, it was the tremendous pressure she was under and rules, and she just felt like she was going to serve a lifelong sentence of being in that box. And I just wanted to remind us that there's always possibility. We always can and should remain open to possibility and seek help and support if we need that. When I was teaching as a counselor at Phoenix Country Day School, we lost a beloved student to suicide. And it was so heartbreaking that he couldn't see past the limitations of what was going on in his life at the moment. Now, remember a therapist coming in to help the whole community heal and saying suicide is a temporary solution. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So no matter what is going on in our lives, and if you or someone you know is feeling that contained, I just want to put a shout out to what it means, as Megan did, to reach out. She wasn't greeted with help right away, but she fortunately had support from her husband, Prince Harry, and was able to figure out a way to see new possibilities, to be open to possibilities. There's an often quoted phrase from Einstein: we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we use to create them. And I was thinking about a concept that the author Neil Donald Walsh offered in his book, which we used as our book of the month last month. The book's called The God Solution. Walsh talked about idea heroes. These are people who dare to have ideas that are outside the box of the common beliefs and thoughts of their times. And what a difference idea heroes make. The first big example I can think of that he mentioned too is Galileo, who dared to suggest that the Earth was not the center of the universe. Well, as Walsh pointed out, it took the Catholic Church 359 years to admit that he was right, but he knew. Another example is a Hungarian physician, I forget his name, that first proposed that it would be a good idea for doctors to disinfect their hands before, going from one medical procedure to another, that would help cut down infections for patients and even, cut down on the rate of infant mortality. And at the time, he was scoffed at. He wanted us to open our eyes to the existence of germs, which now, of course, we take for granted, especially in COVID times. We're well aware of that. And then there was the geneticist Barbara Mcclintock, who discovered jumping genes. She discovered sequences of DNA that move between the genome, and she was laughed at first. They called her genes, what was it? Something like fake genes or crazy genes. It was laughed at, and then by 1983, Barbara Mcclintock was awarded the Nobel Prize for her work, which progressed our understanding of the human genome. In our philosophy, we have an incredible spiritual tool that allows us to be idea heroes, to get a glimpse of something new, to get a glimpse of something possible outside the box of what we've commonly experienced. And that process, that spiritual practice, is called visioning. Our book of the month this month is Michael Beckwith's book called Life Visioning. So I want to talk a little bit about what that is and what it can do for so many, from our personal lives to our life as a community to our life as a world. Now, first, let me say that many people are more familiar with the word visualization. And visualization is a tool as well. It's an effective tool. It's when we know what we want and we see it, we visualize it, we get a feeling for it. And we know, even our founder, Ernest Holmes, has talked about when we have a mental equivalent of what we want to experience, it tends to manifest, right? Because the law responds. But visualization comes from a place of a mental construct in our own head, in our human limited thinking. Sometimes it comes from our ego. And there's nothing wrong with wanting, the house, the spouse, the job, the promotion. There's nothing wrong with all that. But visualization opens us up to Spirit's greatest idea for our life, for a project we're starting, for our community, and so on. So what visioning is a process where we are led to a meditative state. We get really quiet. We tune into divine, perfect love. And we're asked a series of questions, and we allow that inner voice, that inner guidance to come through. Now, we did this past Wednesday for the first time. We did a visioning for our new home for Rogue Valley Center for Spiritual Living. A lot of centers now are thinking about, hey, it may be time sometime soon or in this next year when we can come together, at least in small numbers, together physically. And we're going to need a home. We're going to need a space. So the first question that the facilitator asks in the visioning process is, what is Spirit's highest idea for, in this case, CSL RV's new home? And we see what comes. The second question, after a meditative place of time and being able to jot down what comes, what do I need to embody in order to have that be that vision come to reality? What do I need to embody? Next, what needs to be released in order for that vision to come into being? And finally, is there anything else to be revealed? Is there anything else Spirit would have us know at this moment? I got to tell you, this Wednesday night, Reverend Linda was a part of it. It was so powerful and so uplifting and so positive. The things people saw, the possibility we saw in terms of our new home. It was great. By the way, we're going to be doing another visioning if you didn't get in on it and you want to come, because even if you're not physically in this community, it's a great practice to learn because you can apply it to your personal life as well. We're doing another one on March 31st, which is another Wednesday evening at 6:30. So here's some of the things that came up, and I have Reverend Linda's permission to share this. In the what needs to be released in order for our vision of the new home, Reverend Linda got and shared with us playing small and being safe. I loved that because playing small rather than what are the infinite possibilities out there, being open to possibilities. And being safe reminds me of that quote from Eckhart Tolle, let's become comfortable with uncertainty, knowing that really, in truth, we're always safe. We're always going to be provided for, even when we're in that area of, gosh, I don't know what's going to happen. She also got, we need to release lack mentality. We need to release the need to control. Because when our egos want to be in control, we're not open to divine guidance. We're not open to the infinite ways Spirit can show and lead us to a new home, which we don't even see right now. We can't even see it. And finally, we need to embrace outside the box thinking. Well, hello, there's my talk, right? I think those things that she received in visioning are exactly the reason we vision. It's that expansive process. By the way, Reverend Linda's husband, Walter Carlisle, who's one of our practitioners, shared a phrase that I love. I think it was in the phase of what else is to be revealed. He said, what I got was, look through the hole. Look through the hole. And I loved that. It reminded me of Joshua in the box, seeing that hole and wanting to get out to the other side to see what was there. So I think you can get a feel from what I'm sharing right now for the power of this visioning process. And over time, if you vision for the same thing again and again, what you collect is shared things that seem to show up in more than one person, because we know there's one mind. We know we're all connected to the infinite mind. And what shows up collectively again and again through many people really is our best guidance about what to look for. Now, I want to share just briefly a little bit about an example of what I heard this past month. Some of you attended our virtual Vista conference. Reverend Sonny Cantrell Smith, who is the co-minister now in Lexington, Kentucky at the Center for Spiritual Living, talked about she visioned when she was looking for the community that she wanted to serve or where to start a community. And when she was visioning, an image came to her. Sometimes things come in visioning, we don't understand what they are, and you don't have to. It's not our job to figure it out. The image that came was a wagon wheel. And when she went to Lexington, Kentucky, into this community where she was thinking of starting a church or continuing a church, the building she was in had a wagon wheel, and she took it as a sign. She set up a community there that has flourished. Years later, she was ready to take on an assistant minister. And a beautiful young minister named Reverend Rainbow Weldon showed up in Lexington on her way to visiting a lot of other centers. And unbeknownst to Reverend Sonny, in her visioning, she had seen a wagon wheel. So when she walked in the building where Lexington CSL exists, it's called a HAVA Center for Spiritual Living, she saw a wagon wheel. And in her mind, I believe she shared during the Vista conferences, she was really looking to be a co-minister or her own minister. And Reverend Sonny at that point was willing to hire an assistant or an associate. But the wagon wheel was one of the signs she had that this was the place she needed to be. And today they are co-ministers of a beautiful, thriving community. So isn't that just wild? It gives me a little bit of goosebumps. And I share it because you may not want to be visioning for a center, but when you vision for your life purpose, when you vision for your new job, when you vision for your new relationship, when you vision for anything for your personal life, that's the kind of intuitive guidance, perfect, clear, intuitive guidance you can get. And I say clear, it may not be clear at the time the guidance arrives, but it will reveal itself if you give it time. Isaac Asimov said this: "Your assumptions are your windows on the world. Scrub them off every once in a while, or the lights won't come on." I would say we need to scrub them off more than once in a while. I think it's almost a daily spiritual practice because there's something about us, that we want to be safe. We like what's familiar. And I think that we need to look at our assumptions regularly and scrub them off. I will share with you if this was true for me this week. I felt a little bit like Joshua in the box. After that, such an uplifting, incredibly energizing time on Wednesday night about the new home and the visions people were getting for our new home. I went on a call over on Saturday. The CSL home office offered a welcoming back summit because churches, not just our denomination, but churches across the country are starting to reopen. Sometimes with limited seating and going virtual too. But all the stuff that was talked about that we need to think about, do we do a reservation system? When do we open? What do we need to do to make it safe? I got overwhelmed thinking about all of the details. and I actually, yesterday, I can always tell when something's off with me because I had my sugar craving came up. I stopped at my favorite bakery and ordered 4 sweet treats and consumed most of them yesterday. And I woke up this morning feeling kind of tired, like, I've got all this to do. And I thought, Kimberly, you're back in your box. You're like Joshua. You want to climb back in the box and keep things the way you are? No, I do not want to do that. I'm going to scrub off the windows of my perceptions and look at what might be possible and stay in that faith-filled, open place of let's see what happens. Let's be comfortable with the uncertainty for right now, or at least accept it. Know that we are guided beautifully. And again, I encourage you to do that for whatever is going on in your life. Things are going to change as we open up from COVID. They're going to change. They're not going to go back to the way they were necessarily. But let's stay open to possibilities. Michael Beckwith, in this month's Book of the Month, Life Visioning, said this: unimagined possibilities begin to open as you synchronize with the divine. This is what the visioning process allows us to do. This is what prayer and meditation allow us to do, to synchronize with the divine. And this is what I'm going to need to do as I help lead this community with the support of many leaders and excited volunteers and practitioners into what our next new possibility is. We do not do this alone ever. What is Spirit's highest idea of your life, of your community's life, of what the world can look like? It's a great question. Living in that question is a powerful thing to do. And as we do it collectively, we can shift not only our personal lives, but life on the planet, life in this nation, and life on the planet. So the last point I want to make is about direct revelation. You know, in many traditional religions, there's a prophet who was the one that got the revelation, and then that's taught to everybody else. In our philosophy, we believe that through our intuition, which can be intentionally cultivated, by the way, by the visioning process, by meditation, that we become open and receptive to spirits, to universal spirit and what it might reveal for us. In our statement of what we believe, Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, "We believe anyone can become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling presence, with the indwelling God." I love that. The last quote I want to read to you, I love this one. It's from Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Alice is questioning the Queen, saying, one can't believe in impossible things. And the Queen answers, "I dare say you haven't had much practice doing that. When I was younger, I always did for 1/2 day. Why, sometimes I've believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast." So this week and in the coming months, as we come outside of this box that COVID has created in our personal lives, in our national lives, in our world lives, I'm going to invite us to think of 6 impossible things even before breakfast, to be open, to look through the whole of what is possible, and to trust that we're not only guided but supported by this infinite intelligence that wants only the highest and best. But we have to be willing to listen and not be limited. Let's brush off the windows of our perceptions and be open, and let's see what evolves. I am excited. I am committed to do this practice and to not let fear get in the way, because like Reverend Jim Lockhart reminded us, you know, we'll get the universal 2x4 if we're not always evolving and open. Let's enjoy the ride, my beloveds, and let's go into prayer right now. So taking a breath. I want to just breathe for a moment and sense this energy of pure unconditional love that birthed this universe, that birthed each one here in this skeleton crew that we're broadcasting, in each one that's listening, and each one that will listen, and each one on the planet. We are spirit incarnate. And so within us, within our souls, exist those qualities that we tend to attribute to the divine. Perfect peace, clarity, freedom, creativity, love, peace, the peace that passeth understanding, harmony, so much more. I know and affirm that we are blessed by this presence that is both within and all around us. That when we allow ourselves to spend time, whether it's envisioning and meditation and prayer, to be open to possibilities, to think and to be willing to live outside the box, that those boxes disappear. And I affirm that this week and in these coming months, as we figure out how to be together again and how to emerge into a new world post-COVID fears, that we're open to that guidance so that we might create not the normal we came from, that we might be comfortable imagining and let Spirit guide us to new ways to be together, to new ways to have an equitable society that honors and treats everyone regardless of whatever their station in life is, that we might be open to the possibility of a worldwide collaboration. It's an interesting thing. We've been through COVID, everyone on the planet having experienced it. And what I know is God works together for the good in and through everything. So I know and affirm for each one listening that we're able to put aside our fears, to trust in that spirit within, to know that we can be revealers of truth and that there is a divine intelligence constantly leading us outside the box, whatever the box might be. And I know that for each one listening, that we spend time perhaps this week recognizing what the boxes are that we've accepted and being open to seeing the whole, seeing through the whole, to the other side, to infinite good. I give thanks. I give thanks for Michael Beckwith and this beautiful process of visioning that he envisioned. I give thanks for our philosophy. I give thanks for this new opportunity worldwide to envision our good. And I give thanks for life, for God, for each one on the planet. And so I simply release this word, knowing it's heard, it's answered, it's done. And we say together, and so it is. Alexa and Lauren, take it away once again.
You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings. And with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is found in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't have to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes and take a breath and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things.
Beautiful, beautiful, Alexa and Lauren. And such one mind when the songs so beautifully fit the message and are part of it and then bolster it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's time in our service now when we talk about the spiritual practice of sacred giving. So I would invite you to metaphorically put your gift over your heart, and we'll have our affirmation come up on the screen. We'll say it together. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. I am deeply grateful for your gifts that continue to support our ministry. And if it's your time to give a gift this week, you can go to our website, cslroguevalley.org, and hit the donate button. You can also set up a recurring payment on that website to make it easy. Or you can mail a check to CSL RV at P.O. Box 1458, Medford, Oregon, 97501. Just a few announcements. We continue our morning spiritual practice calls Monday and Wednesday mornings at 9 o'clock on Zoom. Mondays, I am continuing to do poetry as spiritual practice. That Rumi poem I read today was part of our practice this past week. We also have a Thursday evening call at 7 p.m. led by ministerial student Laura Stewart. We have classes coming up, and it's time to sign up to get the early bird special discount. We have a Foundations of Science of Mind taught. That starts April 7th. In fact, both classes start on April 7th. And then Roots, which is taught by Deborah Bongard, a beautiful practitioner from another community, the Roots of Science of Mind, and Foundations will be taught by our Reverend Michelle Ariano, both fabulous teachers. So check out our website to sign up for those. And if you want to keep informed and don't receive our newsletter, you can sign up under email on our Facebook page, so you'll know everything that's going on in our community. And finally, we do have another visioning session scheduled for Wednesday evening, March 31st, visioning for our new home. I think that's it for announcements. I'm going to throw it back to Alexa and Lauren for our closing song.
Everywhere I am is holy ground, for I walk in God. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Gentle, easy, gentle, easy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, and I live in love. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Gentle, easy, gentle, easy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, and I stand in peace. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Gentle, easy, gentle, easy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, and I dance in joy. Everywhere I am is holy ground, for the power and the presence of pure spirit makes my path gentle and easy. Gentle, easy, gentle, easy.
Thank you. Doesn't even do it, you two. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful. Before we wrap up, I just want to acknowledge our dedicated crew who makes this live broadcast possible and the recording later on. Our director this morning has been Jason Rummel, on camera Bill and Connie Miner, Vivian Lacey doing the slides, Tom Frederick is our sound person. And big thanks to you all volunteering, and what a big heart for service. So as we say goodbye for now, let's all remember that there's a presence and power. When we turn to that presence and power of pure spirit, life is gentle, life is easy. Take care, my friends. Namaste.